Welcome to historic Palmer Field here in Middletown, Connecticut, as we settle in for the CIAC Class S Baseball Championship game. It's Cromwell, seeded number 5, taking on second-seeded Derby. I'm Don Boyle, Sam Dossel alongside for the call of this one. And we'll start with Cromwell. It's all about pitching in a state championship game, and they got Doug Davenport on the mound.
Yeah, Doug Davenport, really a great pitcher for them. He's carried them all year. He has 3 wins in this postseason alone, so they're gonna hope he can get number 4 and bring home that state championship.
Can Cromwell do it against a very good Derby team? They have team speed, a very good defense, and a very good pitcher in their own right, and Raymond Krieger out in the mound.
Yeah, he's won 12 games this year for them, so he's really shouldered the load for them all season long. 12-2. We'll see if he can do it one more time.
As you can tell from the noise in the background, we're ready for baseball. The CIAC Class S Championship. It's up next after this.
Class S State.
This may sound like a typical high school basketball game being played on a Friday night in Connecticut. In fact, it's a crash course in cooperation and teamwork. It's a test of dedication, determination, and drive. It's character development in action. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think about this. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students who participate in school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. At the same time, playing sports helps teach lessons not covered in the classroom. Lessons like tolerance, respect for the rules, and the importance of supporting your community. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference and the Connecticut Association of Athletic Directors.
All right, back here at Palmer Field. Nice to have you with us on the CIAC Network. Cromwell will be up first. Derby in the field, and Sam Dossel with the batting order. Sam?
Leading off for Cromwell, playing shortstop, John McMahon. Catching, number 2, Kevin Radzowitz. Playing left field, batting third, Pat Soroyce. Playing first base, Tyler Allen. Batting fifth, the center fielder, Steven Radzowitz. Playing third base, Kristen Budzik. Doing the DHing for the pitcher, Doug Davenport, is Logan Lassard. In right field, batting 8th, Alex Ramirez. And rounding out their batting order and playing second base is Jake Regula.
So we're just underway with the game's first pitch to John McMahon, the shortstop today for Cromwell. Cromwell, as we had mentioned, certainly playing some terrific baseball down the stretch. That's the obvious. That pitch is in for the strike from Raymond Krieger. Cromwell at 19-5. So McMahon, the shortstop, swings from the left side outfield with a bit of a shift. Will set that defense in second. Bunt attempt, and they say he went around. He tried to bunt it. I think McMahon had second thoughts there, and the count goes to 1-2 strikes here, Sammy.
Interesting choice to square to bunt there with 1 strike already on him. Saw the third baseman playing back, but an interesting choice out of the leadoff hitter there.
Here's a curveball, just missed inside. Colin Haydu behind the plate defensively today for the Derby Red Raiders. Zach Volo down at first base. You have Dylan McMahon at second. Here comes the pitch high and outside. The count goes full 3-2. Michael Krieger is your shortstop, and Brian Dubek is at third base. In left field is Nick Lemire. Center fielder is Sal Froscino. And in right field is Justin Olenowski. Does that count full 3-2? Just underway, and we have some bright sunshine. We had rain for our first broadcast, the Class L Championship game won by Fitch, and now bright sunshine here for this afternoon affair at historic Palmer Field. Here's a ball that's floated down the left field line. It will drift foul. Long run for Lemire, who's playing off the line out there, Sam, and the count remains full 3-2. So McMahon doing his job, isn't he, as a leadoff hitter?
Doing a great job as a leadoff hitter. Already seen 7 pitches, so he's really given. He's working the pitch count early on, and he's giving his other batters in the lineup a good chance to see exactly what Krieger's got out there on the mound.
One of the reasons why Derby is here today, it's been their solid defense. It could be anchored by their catcher, Colin Haydu, who's got a great arm. They have not stolen a base off him in this tournament, or if they have, there's been very, very few. So it's great when you have a guy behind the plate that can control things like that. Curveball just missed, trying to go back door was Krieger. And down to the bag at first goes McMahon with a leadoff walk here to start the ball game. Ratzowitz will step up to the plate to catch it for Cromwell.
Great at bat there by McMahon. Fell behind 1-2, fouled off a couple pitches, battled all the way back, and got a walk. We'll see if he tests the arm of Haydu back there early on.
Throw over to the bag at first. Cromwell getting hot at the right time of the season. The Panthers, I believe, looking at your notes that you brought with you there, Sam, 11-game win streak. Here's the pitch from Krieger, fastball up high. So, as a former player in the state championship game, and your brother being a pitcher, did not get into the championship game to pitch, but certainly was terrific through the earlier tournament game. Most difficult for the pitcher to get into this game or the defensive players behind him?
I think it's most difficult for the pitcher because you're out there first. You're the one who starts everything. You got the jitters right out of the bat, and I think we saw that in the Plainville game last night. Their starting pitcher, Matt Thomas, he left the ball up a lot early on in that game, got hit around in the first inning. Luckily for Plainville, no runs were scored, but you really have to settle down, force yourself to work a little bit slower than you normally had so you can get into a rhythm for the game.
Sean Nadeau, who pitched to a win with a complete game victory in the Class L championship just prior to this one here today, really had some early inning jitters, as his defense did too. He had a throwing error. There was another error on a bunt, and there was a batter, a walk guy, 3 runs home. There's a hit and run on that ground ball hit down to the third baseman. Dubik picks it up. The only play to first, and he throws it over the head of Volo. Turning the bag at third is McMahon. He is going to score, and a big swing of the bag at second by Ratzowitz. So kind of a routine ground ball down to Dubik at third base, and his throw sails high, allowing a run of the score. It is quickly 1-0 Cromwell.
Maybe I'll have to reconsider what I just said. The jitters maybe out in the field, as that was an errant throw there by the third baseman, Dubek, and it allows that first run of the game to score. And that's not something you want to see if you're Derby, because you got to make the team earn the runs in a game of this magnitude.
This game's starting out just like the New Canaan Fitch game, where Fitch had those first inning problems. So now it's Sir Royce at the plate. He's a left fielder for this Cromwell team. They got a runner at second, still nobody out, and a run home without the benefit of a base hit, and that pitch is in for the strike. Seen a lot of guys score on balls thrown to first base, the overthrow, the underthrow, or somehow gets by the first baseman. Guys coming all the way around. So we got some speedy athletes out here.
Yeah, we do. That was impressive going. He was going first to third as was, but he just kept on motoring around, and McMahon was able to plate the first run of the game, and he was moving.
So Royce, another left-handed hitter, and that pitch outside for a ball. So count goes 1-2. Outfield is straightened out a little bit. Porcino in center field, Lemire in left. Malinowski, the right fielder. Just underway here at the top of the first. The Class S state championship game. And that pitch is a strike call over the outside corner for strike 3, and that is the first strikeout for Krieger. So now he can begin to feel a little more comfortable with the called strikeout there.
Yeah, it really seems to have settled in a little bit. He's not working as quickly as was the first couple batters, and now he seems to have worked himself into a little bit of a rhythm here for Derby.
So Tyler Allen steps up to the plate for Cromwell. He is the first baseman. He is a senior for the Panthers, and the pitch bend over for the strike call. So Krieger looks like he'll come at you with a steady diet of the spinning stuff.
Yeah, he's thrown a heavy diet of those curveballs, and he mixes in a fastball that has some good velocity. Throw that in with a somewhat off-center motion, and it's might be tough for Cromwell.
Ground ball, the Krieger, his throw to the bag at first got away from Bolo. They're going to say he was pulled off the bag, and everybody's safe. Michael Krieger with a throw across, and Bolo went after it and kind of dropped it and left the base, and well, everybody's safe, and that'll be an error. That'll be E6 on the throw down low. Now you got runners at first and third, and Derby has made 2 errors already here in the first inning. You have 1 out with runners on the corners, and Steven Ratzowitz will step up to the plate. The center fielder today for Cromwell, and boy, Sam, Derby wants to get out of this half inning somehow, some way.
Yeah, at this point, it's all about minimizing the damage. You don't want that run at first base to score. You can deal with the run at third base scoring because it's only 2, but if you start getting into those crooked numbers, 3, 4 runs, it's tough to come back in a game of this magnitude because the pressure just continues to mount.
From the stretch, Raymond Krieger. Krieger off the rubber, looks the runners back to both bags. Ratzowitz at the plate, the center fielder for Cromwell. Looking for that big hit. He's a senior. That pitch is in for the strike call. His brother Kevin Ratzowitz is a sophomore. He's at the bag at third right now, reaching on the game's first error. We've already had 2. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That's a ground ball. It's chopped to the second baseman. We'll get a run home. They get the out at the bag at first. So good work by McMahon to get to that chopping ball and over the first base to Volo. And, you know, he didn't worry about the runner going down the line at third or the guy going to second. He made sure he got the out at the bag at first.
Yeah, smart, heady play over there at second base by Regula. Just get the out and don't try to get crazy and pick off that runner at first. And a great job of hitting there by Radzowitz. He just did what he had to do, put the ball in play, knew they were conceding that run, and drove in the second run of the ball game.
So at the plate is Budzik. Budzik is the third baseman for this Cromwell team, and he quickly falls behind 0-2. So 2-0 score. RBI credit to Steven Radzowitz for that ground ball out as he brought home the runner from third base, Kevin Radzowitz. So they'll have something positive to talk about at the dinner table tonight there, Sam.
Yes, they will. It's always nice to get something positive next to your name in the box score in a state championship game. Something to feel good about.
Here comes a 1-2. There's an off-speed pitch, swing and a miss, and a strikeout for Raymond Krieger. So Krieger strikes out two, but the damage most certainly done as 2 runs posted by Cromwell without the benefit of a base hit. There was a walk, a couple of errors, and they leave a runner on. So we played a half in your score. Cromwell 2 and Derby coming to the plate. This is the Class S Baseball Championship game right here on the CIAC Network. Good job, Sam.
This may sound like a typical high school basketball game being played on a Friday night in Connecticut. In fact, it's a crash course in cooperation and teamwork. It's a test of dedication, determination, and drive. It's character development in action. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think about this. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students who participate in school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. At the same time, playing sports helps teach lessons not covered in the classroom. Lessons like tolerance, respect for the rules, and the importance of supporting your community. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference and the Connecticut Association of Athletic Directors.
Back here at Parma Field, as you can see, Cromwell posting 2 on the board in the top of 1. Derby coming to the plate, and Sam with the batting order for the Derby Red Raiders.
Leading off for the Red Raiders, playing second base, Dylan McMahon. Playing center field, batting second, Sal Froscino. Doing the pitching and batting third is Raymond Krieger. Batting fourth, the first baseman, Zach Volo. Fifth, the third baseman, Brian Dobeck. Doing the catching and batting sixth, Colin Haydu. Playing shortstop and batting seventh, Mike Krieger. In left field is Nick Lemaire. Batting ninth is the DH Jordan LaRue, and he is batting for the right fielder, Justin Olenowski.
So out on the mound is Doug Davenport. He's been terrific here in the tournament. He has posted 3 victories. Right now his club has given him a 2-0 lead without the benefit of a base hit. Weird-looking numbers up on the board right now. Cromwell, 2 runs, no hits, 2 errors by Derby. Those are the only numbers. McMahon is going to foul this off to the third base side. A lot of fans dressed in red today for the Derby Red Raiders.
A lot of red in the building as Cromwell, also a lot of their supporters are wearing red.
Here comes a pitch from Davenport. That's a ground ball slapped off the glove of Davenport, picked up by the second baseman. Magulio gets it over to the bag at first in time for the out. McMahon is retired. Guess you'd have to record that 1, 4, and 3 if it went off the glove of the pitcher.
Yeah, you don't see that one too often, the 1-4-3, but a nice job by the Cromwell second baseman, Regula, to hang with it after it tipped off the pitcher's glove. Didn't change directions too much, and he made the nice play.
Sal Froscino stepping up to the plate here for the Derby Red Raiders, swinging from the left side, the center fielder. Here comes the pitch to the plate, and he'll whack one down to second. Regula will pick it up and get it onto the bag at first in time, and he's been busy early on and quickly 2 outs. And boy, this is the way Dougie Davenport wanted it to go, getting a couple of ground ball outs. I think we're seeing the reason why he can pick up victories here in state tournament play.
Yeah, he's working quickly. Seems to be a type of pitcher who just pounds the strike zone, makes you beat him. And so far, 2 weak ground balls out of Derby. And if you're Cromwell, this is exactly what you want. You put 2 runs on the board. Now you want to just shut them down right away, get back into the dugout, and let the bats go back to work.
Krieger trying to help his own cause, swinging from the left side. That pitch is in for the streak. For the strike. Talking about streaks. 12 wins on the year for Raymond Krieger. Here comes the 0-1, and that missed outside. And, of course, talking about the Cromwell streak of 11 straight. So, boy, it's nice to be in that rhythm at the right time of year.
It's all about peaking at the right time.
Here comes a 1-1 to Krieger, and he fouls it off at the plate, and the count goes 1 ball, 2 strikes. The wind's starting to blow out towards left center field. The dimensions here at Parmer, 400 feet to straightaway center field. 327 down the left field line, and we have 322 down the line in right. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes to Krieger. We'll set that defense if we get a chance. Any going by quickly. The pitch is fouled off. You have Kevin Ratzowitz behind the plate. Tyler Allen down at first. Regula at second base. We've already met him a couple of times already. John McMahon at shortstop, and Christian Budzik at third base defensively for Cromwell. That pitch, a little low. Pat Soroyce in left field. Steven Ratzowitz in center. And Alex Ramirez gets the call in right field. I was talking to his dad prior to the start of the game. Dad, an assistant principal at Notre Dame West Haven High School. There's a ground ball. Chopped to the first baseman, but it's picked up in foul territory by Tyler Allen.
Excellent at bat here by Raymond Krieger. Only 6 pitches from Davenport through the first 2 batters. He's now up to 12 on the inning. So they're making him work a little bit here, get a little bit deeper into that pitch count. So even if he doesn't get on base, he's doing a good job making the inning not that easy for Davenport.
Here's the pitch, and Krieger drives that one down the right field line and foul. You know, in your day, in your high school day there, Sam, they used to use the old aluminum bat. Now they use the BB core bats, somewhat like, quite similar to a wooden bat. They should just go wood, but have you swung one of those?
I have actually never swung one of those, but just from watching games over the last few years, watching the start of the College World Series, the Super Regionals on TV, you can just see that the ball doesn't bounce off those bats the way it used to be. If a player gets jammed, he gets jammed. It'll, instead of falling in like it would a few years ago for a base hit, it'll be a weak pop up to the shortstop. So it does make a difference, and it makes it more of a natural style of game, I think.
Volo to the plate, first baseman today for Derby. He had a rough start over there at first base with balls being thrown high and low and in between as he was trying to field them in the top of inning number 1 as Cromwell posted 2 for the 2-0 lead. He's up with 2 out and a runner down at the bag at first. That is Raymond Krieger. Be interesting to see if Derby tries to become aggressive on the base path and try to disrupt the Doug Davenport rhythm. That curveball is popped up and fouled off. First base side. Is there a play for Radowitz? No, there is not. It's out of play. Maybe a play for the fan up there in the stand. 380 to the alley in left. 380 to the alley in right field. Cromwell with a 2-0 lead. Derby trying to get right back into this game. Of course, it's real early on. There's plenty of baseball remaining here today. The Davenport pitch missed outside. You know, Radowitz behind the plate. Did you see him? He had to catch his mitt to the inside. I don't know if he's trying to fool the batter a little bit. Then he set up for the frame on the outside part of the play.
Some catchers will do that. They'll maybe tap the glove on the inside, make the batter think that you're setting up inside, then move outside. I don't think it works too well. I was a catcher at points in my career. I tried it. Never seemed to really fool them. Might have been our pitchers, but either way, it's a tactic that some catchers use.
The 1-2 pitch comes over the top. Ground ball right back to Davenport. Fields it, and the underhand beanbag toss to first. That will get Volo. 3 ground ball outs. The walk did not hurt. We're through 1 complete. And it is Cromwell with the lead over Derby, 2-0. Back with the top of 2 right here on the CIAC network.
Everybody knows that high school sports generate suspense, excitement, and drama.
They also generate higher grade point averages, stronger work habits, and greater self-esteem.
Everybody knows that high school sports give us more value for our entertainment dollar.
They also give us leaders committed to strengthening communities right here in Connecticut. The true value of playing sports in school can't be measured in wins and losses or dollars and cents. Studies show that participation in sports, along with other extracurricular activities, is one of the best ways to teach leadership, cooperation, accountability, and other invaluable life skills. Don't just stand on the sidelines. Encourage the young people you know to get in the game. When you do, you'll be helping them get ahead in life. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference and the Connecticut Association of Athletic Directors.
Good look at the crowd basking in the sunlight here today at Farmer Field as we move on to the top of inning number 2. And Logan Lessard, the designated hitter, leading things off for Cromwell, batting at about 281 on the season for the Cromwell Panthers. Designated hitter. The pitch from Krieger is going to be popped up and out of play on the third base side. Count quickly goes 0-1. See, a lot of guys go after that first pitch, Sam. I've always been a guy in favor of, taking one for the team here a little bit and trying to get that pitcher to work and see what he's all about, especially that first plate appearance.
Yeah, I was always of that nature, too. You like to see what he has, feel comfortable in the box.
Here's a ball lined up the middle. I guess he felt comfortable. Lessard drives it up the middle for a base hit, and he becomes the leadoff base runner here in the second inning.
First hit of the game there for Cromwell by the DH Lessard.
So Alex Ramirez, the right fielder, to step up. Ramirez is part of the Cromwell football team this past year, too. Of course, Cromwell playing out of the Shoreline League. Derby Red Raiders represent the NVL. Two outstanding athletic conferences. That ball is popped up and out of play by Ramirez.
Of course, the NVL, one of the more legendary leagues in Connecticut, especially when it comes to basketball power with the likes of Crosby in that conference. So they're always well represented when it comes to state championships and going deep in tournaments.
Pitch a little high to Ramirez. Ramirez batting at 242. And you can't forget about Ansonia football in the NVL, too. I mean, one of the all-time great football programs. I think they got a couple of running backs that have set a lot of state records, which is incredible. They just know how to breed like linemen and guys that can run with a football behind them. I don't know what they feed them, but it's got to be pretty good.
It's amazing how these certain small towns, they just have this one sport that they just breed athletes in, and they just get the job done year in and year out. Even if you think it's going to be a down year, somehow they find a way to get back right to that same spot.
I heard in the old days, Derby, which had a great football program, is starting to come back a little bit, that guys that were supposed to maybe play for Amity High School, comprising of Bethany, Woodbridge, and Orange communities, would somehow find an address in Derby because the football program was so solid, so strong. And matter of fact, Steve Riley wrote a book about that. We'll talk about that. That pitch is fouled back by Ramirez. The Derby 1992 won the baseball championship. Well, that same year, their football team did not win a state championship. It was devastating to the entire school community. Matter of fact, the town of Derby. But they came back and won the, in a year of redemption, the baseball championship right here at Palmer Field. And Steve wrote a book about that. It's a great read. The Fat Lady Never Sings. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Ramirez swing and a miss. He strikes out. He got one down.
So Krieger looking to have an efficient inning after throwing 24 pitches in that first inning. Really needs to keep that pitch count down because just looking at his record, going 12-2 this year, he's a guy who's thrown a lot of innings, thrown a lot of pitches. So you don't know how much playing these extra games has put strain on his arm. So you want him to keep that pitch count as low as possible.
Jake Regula fouls it off to the first base side. Lessard, leadoff single. He's down the bag at first with one out here in the top of 2. By the way, that hit by Lessard, their first of the game, although they're leading 2-0. They scored 2 runs on the first without the benefit of a base hit. A couple of errors certainly hurt the cause of Derby defensively as they try to settle down. Here on the top of inning number 2. Good look from center field, now from our home plate camera here at Palmer Field. Wind blowing out the left center, and the pitch is going to be blooped right to the second baseman, and No throw by McMahon back to first as Davenport, I should say, Lazard got back over there in time. Lazard, by the way, hitting for the pitcher Davenport, if we had not mentioned that. So now you got 2 outs, and John McMahon steps up. He walked and scored to start the ball game.
And McMahon had that excellent at-bat in his first time up. Worked that walk after being behind 1-2. Fought all the way back, fouled off some tough pitches, and finally found himself on base and then scored on the throwing error all the way from first base. So doing what a leadoff man's supposed to do.
First pitch in for the strike from Raymond Krieger. Krieger now with a couple of strikeouts in the ball game, 3 to be exact. Had 2 in the first, 1 here in the second inning. He walked the batter. Here comes the pitch that missed outside. Count goes 1 ball, 1 strike. I think we're seeing 2 entirely different type of pitchers with Davenport and Krieger here today.
Yeah, Davenport's a pitcher who likes to pitch to contact, forces the team to put the ball in play and beat them, while Krieger, he goes right at guys and likes to rack up those strikeouts. He's that power arm with a good fastball, a good over-the-top curveball, so he's going to get a lot of swings and misses, as evident by his 3 strikeouts already in 1 2/3 innings.
Here comes a 2-1 pitch showing bunt. That's a bunt beautifully laid down by McMahon. It's going to roll down the base path and finally roll foul. Well, the only chance that Krieger and company had was that thing would roll foul. I've seen him stay fair right on that chalk line many, many times. This time, it angled in the foul territory.
It's the second straight at bat we've seen him square to bunt with 1 strike. He did it in his first at bat. He pulled back and took a strike that time. This time he laid down an almost perfect bunt. Must have hit a rock at the last second there, because that looked like it was going to hug the line for a while.
I'm going to stick up with the grounds crew here at Parma Field. And Sammy, you've seen this grounds crew do amazing work. There's no rocks out there.
They do. They do.
Don't they do a great job?
And with the rain we've had, and the field looks fantastic today.
Runner goes, pitch missed outside. The throw by Haydu was sailing the center field, but it was alertly backed up by Forshino, who can certainly fly, and the good alert play. So that goes as a stolen base for Lazard. He got a great jump.
Good coaching move there to send the runner with 2 strikes. If he gets thrown out, you got your leadoff man to start the top of the 3rd inning. If he's safe, now you got your leadoff guy a chance to drive him in with 2 outs.
A little contact might bring home the 3rd run of the ball game for Cromwell. Count 3-2. Krieger's pitch to the plate. Ground ball hit down to the first baseman. They say fair ball. It was dropped by Volo, able to recover, make the unassisted play. And the top of the 2nd will come to the close for Cromwell. No runs. They had 1 base hit. They'll leave a runner stranded in scoring position at second base. We're through 1.5, and your score, Cromwell 2 and Derby nothing. Back with more high school baseball, the CIAC Class S Championship on the CIAC Network.
It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons. It may not take place in a classroom, but it's an ideal environment for learning. It may not involve a diploma, but it can help prepare Connecticut's young people for life. It's high school sports. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students that participate in high school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think again. Better yet, think about attending a high school sporting event in your community. You'll be amazed by what you see. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference and the Connecticut Association of Athletic Directors.
Brian Doback will lead things off here for Derby in the bottom of 2. Cromwell with a 2-0 lead. Doback, Haydu, and then Michael Krieger, the scheduled hitters, against Doug Davenport, and the right-hander's pitch missed outside. You know, you take a look at this Derby trip here. First round bye as a 2nd seed in Class S. They got by East Granby 2-1. They got by St. Bernard by the score of 5-1. They nipped Westbrook in 9 innings, 3-2 to make their way here. So it has not been easy sledding for the Derby Red Raiders, Sam. There's a ball well struck in the right field for a base hit. Nice bit of hitting there by Dubek. He was able to turn on that and comes up with the first hit of the ball game for the Derby Red Raiders, and they get a leadoff runner on base.
And
for the first time.
Just what you're saying, Don, it has not been an easy trip here. They've only allowed 4 runs, but they've only scored 10, so their offense hasn't really been clicking on all cylinders. But that semifinal win, a little bit sweeter for Derby head coach Sumner Sokrin. It was his 500th career win, so a great time to get it, and he's really pulling for 501 today, I think.
Yeah. 500 wins. That is terrific. That's longevity, too. That means people like you in your community. If you can hang around that long time to pick up 500, right?
Yeah, you got to be around a long time. I mean, it's got to be at least 30-plus years over there for Sumner Sokrin.
Colin Haydu to the plate. He's the catcher. He might be the glue to this Derby team, and hits in that number 6 slot. Got to run it down to first and Dubik. 2-0 Cromwell leading here in the bottom of 2, and from the stretch, Doug Davenport. And he'll just take a look at the runner and send it back over. I like it that way than throwing that ball over the first base all the time, Sam, where you can make a mistake.
Too much can happen while that ball's traveling over to first base because you just never know.
High fly ball was center, put away by Eskowitz, and Haydu is retired on a lazy fly to center field. So now you have one down. Michael Krieger to the plate, the shortstop today for the Derby Red Raiders.
Batting 7, shortstop, number 22.
Derby wearing those red pinstripe uniforms today. Just picked up those pinstripes in the pants.
And, of course, going with the now old-school stirrups as the Sox.
Here's the pitch down to the dirt. Nice stop by Radowitz. The runner will go, and he'll get second base sliding in. That was a great read by Dubik. That ball got just a bit away from Radowitz, and Kevin made a strong throw but could not recover, and that's a stolen base.
It's one of those, if you're the base runner, you got to either say I'm going or I'm not going. He saw the ball was in the dirt, and Dobek went right away as soon as he saw the catcher drop to his knees. Great base running and instincts there by Dobek.
That pitch missed outside. Davenport standing tall from the stretch with a quick pitch inside. Well, he delivers quickly with a guy on base, doesn't he? Count goes 3-0, however, to Krieger.
He does, and it doesn't give the runner a chance to get comfortable over there. You can't really get a good jump off that, and he doesn't have a high leg kick, especially when a runner's on first, so you can't get a good jump on him anyways. And the catcher back there, Radzowitz, he has a good arm as well, so it's tough to run on this Cromwell team.
Count goes 3-1 to Krieger. There's the pitch down low. That will be ball 4. So here's a walk, the second issue today by Davenport. He walked one in the first. Brings up Nick Lemaire, the left fielder, number 8 hitter in this Derby lineup. So now they got runners at first and second with one down, trailing 2-0. But Davenport uses that slide step versus the kick to come to a home plate there a little bit. And that is designed to keep those runners tight. Outfield just about straight away. Davenport will check him. Here comes the pitch. Fastball just missed outside. He doesn't look as comfortable working from the stretch, however, does he?
No, he doesn't. He's a little more fidgety, adjusting his hat, adjusting his shirt a little bit.
Yeah. Pitch over for the strike, 1-1 count.
And he just looks a little bit less settled. From the windup, he's very comfortable, takes his time, gets the sign he wants, but he maybe thinks about the base runners a little bit too much when they're on base.
That pitch missed low and away. Count goes 2 balls to 1 strike as he missed with the curveball to Nick Lemaire. Jordan LaRue, the designated hitter, waiting on deck for Derby. 1 down, 2 on, pitch tad high, and right now he's struggling to find that strike zone. Boy, they got that throw down to the bag at second quickly, and the runner just got back in time. Dobek. That was an alert play to get back there. I didn't expect that throw.
And a fortunate bounce there for Cromwell. That actually ticked off the back cleat of Dobek. If that doesn't hit the cleat, that ball's in center field, and maybe Dobek's taking third.
That pitch, strike call inside corner. That was interesting. Lemaire waited long enough for the plate umpire to give him the sign to walk down the first, but he pulled him back with a strike call. The count goes full 3-2. Here comes a 3-2 pitch, and that most certainly up high for a ball. That's 2 consecutive walks. That will load the bases. A base hit, 2 walks, bases loaded for Derby, 1 out, and LaRue, the designated hitter, to the plate.
So an excellent opportunity here for Derby to get right back into this ball game. Obviously not out of it, only trailing 2-0. But with the bases loaded and only one out, you have to get something out of here just so you feel comfortable. You settle into the game. You have something on the board. You're not looking at a zero. It's very crucial for Derby to push at least one run across here.
Jordan LaRue is coming up to the plate. From what I understand, had a big hit in the NBL tournament that led him to a win. So LaRue certainly can come up with clutch hits from that number 9 slot. And boy, that is so nice for a coach when you have a young man who can get the job done at the bottom part of your batting order. Right now, that bottom part of the batting order has loaded the bases against Doug Davenport with 1 down. They trail by 2. Here in the second, the pitch in for the strike.
Jordan LaRue, the DH today for Derby. He's sitting for the right fielder, Justin Olenowski.
Davenport, the pitch. Now he came back with that leg kick. With the bases loaded, he's not worrying too much about the runners. He's going back to business, and the count goes 1-1.
Yeah, base runners don't have very far to go unless they choose to steal home, which I don't think Derby will be doing.
1-1 pitch, punch down the right field line. That's going to bring home a run. They're going to send another. No. Strong throw from the right fielder Ramirez. It will be cut off by Kyler Allen. But there you go. We mentioned LaRue. The ability to come up with a clutch hit. That's an RBI single. Base is still loaded. It's a 2-1 game.
Great job of hitting there by LaRue. Took the outside pitch, just shot it the other way, fell in front of the Cromwell right fielder Ramirez. He came up with a strong throw to cut off the second run and hold him at third base. But it's an RBI single there for LaRue, and he's just, as you just said, coming up clutch again.
McMahon to the plate. Bounced out 1-4-3, swings at the first pitch and popped it up. It's in foul territory. Radowitz called off by Budzik, who comes down the line, the third baseman, to make the catch in foul territory. So McMahon, interesting, came up and swung at the first pitch where the pitchers had been struggling a little bit and the bases were jammed, and he pops up in foul territory, bringing up Hoshino, who grounded out 4-3 his first time.
I think that's the case of McMahon just being a little over anxious there. Just wanted to, he saw a pitch that he somewhat liked and he just went at it. Maybe a little bit too aggressive. Maybe got caught up in the situation a little bit too much.
Hoshino swinging for the left side, looks determined at the plate, and that pitch missed. No, strike call. Wow. I could pitch with strike calls like that, Sam.
Great job, though, by the catcher to frame that one. Radzowitz pulled that one back in and stole the strike call for his pitcher, Davenport.
There's a little one inside. Radzowitz with a nice stop behind the plate.
Sprawling a good couple feet to his right there to block that one. If that one scoots by him, we got a tie ball game.
Krieger at the bag at third, now less than 90 feet away as he creeps down the line a little bit. Davenport takes a look at the baseball, now hangs it behind the back and works to set the pitch. Up high, count goes 2-1. Bases loaded, 2 out, 2-1 game. Run home here for Derby in the second to make it 2-1. Krieger on deck. Boy, he's licking his chops to get up to the plate, isn't he?
Oh, he is. He wants to help his own cause, and he wants to have a chance to put his team into the lead.
Count goes to 3-1. Davenport's got to send one over the middle of the plate to Hoshino. Here comes the pitch, and he got it over. Now 3-2. That's a great pitch. That was a courageous pitch in my estimation, working it to the outside there, Sam.
Yeah, he's just trying to hit his spots. He didn't want to leave one right down the middle, and he hit his spot.
Here's a ground ball, hit the runner, and that is going to do it. Wow, it hit the runner LaRue. He's so fast. We talked about his speed, and the ball hit right at him. I think the second baseman, Regula, had that. It looked pretty routine anyhow. But it will be a base hit for Hoshino. But when the ball hits the runner, it's the out there, and that will end the inning. And boy, good inning for Derby. They got a run, but they'll leave them full. 2-1 score through 2. We'll be back with more right here on the CIAC network.
These days, the concept of value matters more than ever. And you'd be hard-pressed to find a better value than high school sports. Extracurricular activities, including sports, make up about 2% of the budget for a typical Connecticut high school. In return, participation in sports promotes citizenship and sportsmanship. Sports also instill a sense of community pride and teach lifelong lessons about cooperation and self-discipline. They encourage physical fitness. They produce community leaders. By offering so many benefits to the community for such a small percentage of a school's overall budget, it's easy to see why high school sports are one of the best bargains around. The real cost would come from not having them at all. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference and the Connecticut Association of Athletic Directors.
Welcome right back. Farmer Field. Chip Malafonte from the New Haven Register in attendance. Probably going to do a story on somebody.
Catcher number 1, Kevin Radzowitz.
A lot of newspaper writers here today covering high school athletics on this championship Saturday here at Farmer Field. Raymond Krieger on the mound, now trailing by a run at 2-1. Kevin Radzowitz at the plate, reached on there and scored back in the first. He's quickly behind 0-2 as we begin the third inning of play.
Always a great thrill for the kids on the teams. I was always very excited. You get your name in the newspaper, a nice article about you, something that you save and hang on to, win or lose.
Krieger into the windup in the 0-2, and that's going to be fouled off towards the stands, beyond the first base bag, and souvenir for someone. Now we had a great crowd here for the Class M championship game on Friday night. Over 1,800 folks in attendance for that Plainville game, and there's a ball that's going to be popped up and going to travel out the left field, so we'll call that a fly ball out as Lemire comes on to make the catch, and Radowitz is retired to start the third inning.
Plainville always a school that travels well, as is Haddam Killingworth, who is just a few miles away. So both schools in close proximity, and they showed up and they were loud and into the game from the very first pitch.
Nice crowd here for Derby and Cromwell this afternoon also. The big boys play tonight, the Class L team, South Windsor and Shelton, 7 o'clock. We'll have it on the CIAC network for you. That pitch in for the strike to Sir Royce. So Sir Royce up for the second time, struck out his first attempt. Krieger working quickly. That pitch missed way outside. It's kind of a funky release there, doesn't he?
He does. I've been trying to place what major leaguer his windup reminds me of. I can't really place it on anybody right now, but he brings that leg way up, drops the arm more three-quarters, kind of a slingshot in.
So Royce drives one to deep left center field, but Foschino going after it. And as advertised, he's got some speed. That was a nice basket catch going away from home plate into rather deep left center field towards that 380 mark, although a few dozen feet away from that standard out there at left center, but long out by Sir Royce nonetheless.
That ball really did carry off the bat of Sir Royce. Going a long way to run that one down for Foschino, and with the wind starting to blow out a little bit to center field, that ball had a little extra get up on it, and Foschino did a nice job to track it down.
Tyler Allen to the plate, reached on an error back in the first when Derby committed a couple of errors, and Cromwell took advantage, scoring 2 runs without the benefit of a base hit. They lead 2-1 here in the third. There's a fastball from Krieger in for the strike, quickly 0-2. So he started with a slow curve, then the fastball, making it look that much quicker, and Allen will dig right back in on the right-handed batter's ball. Here comes the 0-2, and tried to twist that inside and wouldn't cut back for him. It's like his curveball's a little funky when he kind of tries to release there in the end.
Yeah, it seems like sometimes he might release it a little bit too early.
Well, the pitch inside, he got him to chase that one, and Allen strikes out, and that will end the inning. And for the first time, the Derby Red Raiders produce a 1-2-3 inning defensively, as that's the fourth strikeout for Raymond Krieger. We'll be back with the bottom of 3. Momentum might be swinging the Red Raiders' way. 2-1 score through 2.5. Back with more after this.
This may sound like a typical high school basketball game being played on a Friday night in Connecticut. In fact, it's a crash course in cooperation and teamwork. It's a test of dedication, determination, and drive. It's character development in action. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think about this. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students who participate in school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. At the same time, playing sports helps teach lessons not covered in the classroom. Lessons like tolerance, respect for the rules, and the importance of supporting your community. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference and the Connecticut Association of Athletic Directors.
And right back here, Derby coming up to the plate. They just played YMCA between innings. It wasn't as well received as I thought it was last night, the Plainville Haddam Killingworth game, where everybody kind of got up. So this crowd has gone past the, I guess, disco stage. We may have more of a rock and roll crowd in attendance here today from the gritty town of Derby and Cromwell.
Yeah, it might be a little more modernized with their song choice. It's a little warmer today, though. Last night we had a nice, comfortable evening. Today it's a little warmer, so people that maybe not wanting to jump out of their seats.
Count goes 2-0 to Raymond Krieger. Krieger, the pitcher today for Derby, walked his first time. He's heading to Central Connecticut State University, and looks like he's going to play some baseball there. He's also a starting quarterback for 4 years for the Derby Red Raiders. Going to play for Charlie Hicks at Central Connecticut. Here comes the 3-0, and that pitch in for the strike. That's high-quality baseball, so not a bad player at all. Here's a Raymond Krieger. Of course, he's a good baseball player. He's pitching in a state championship game. Here comes the 3-1 from Davenport, outside ball 4. And Davenport continues to struggle with his control. That is his 4th walk issued, if I'm adding up my numbers correctly there, Sam.
I believe you are. I also counted 4 walks, so not something you want to be doing. You don't want to put those free base runners on, and that's how you get into trouble, especially when it's done to the leadoff man.
Yeah, Dobek had a base hit to lead off the second. He eventually scored. So it's a 2-1 game. So when you do put a leadoff guy on some way or another, hit him, let him get a hit, reaching on there or a walk, as we just saw, usually does come back to bite you. Bolo is 0 for 1. He tapped one back to the pitcher, 1-3 his first time. Was back to end the first inning.
Some action down in the Cromwell bullpen. Logan Lassard, who's currently the DH, starts to get his arm loose out there.
Pitch in for the strike. 2-1-0 the numbers for Cromwell. 1-3-2 for Derby. They were a little shaky defensively back in the first. There's a pitch, and that's fought off there by Volo. It was in on the hand. Volo, good-sized young man for the Derby Red Raiders.
Appears to be standing well above 6 feet as we peer at him from the press box here at Palmer Field.
Outfield is straightened away. Here comes the 1-2, and that ball hit the straightaway center field and right at Radowitz, and he'll reach up to make the catch for the out. So Volo is retired.
I think he might have chased one a little bit too high there. Got some decent contact on it, but he didn't get the full sweet spot of the bat, and he just lofted up there a little bit too high.
So you got 1 down and 1 on, and Dobak stepping up to the plate. He singled and scored, stole a base back in the second inning. It was a great bit of base stealing. The ball got away from Radowitz, the catcher, just enough that he decided to dash, made that quick decision. Throw to the bag at first, and Krieger back in time over there.
Davenport likes to keep a close eye on those base runners, throwing over multiple times when he has runners on base.
That pitch missed high and away. The count goes 1 ball, no strikes to Dobak.
Oh, you want me to follow it?
Dobak swinging for the left side. Here comes the pitch, and that's over the outside corner for the strike. Soroyce in left, Radowitz in center, Ramirez in right field, with Radowitz a step or two towards right center field.
Yeah.
Got a bit of a gap out there in left center. Dobak would love to get it out there. Throw to the bag at first. Runner get back. Colin Haydu waiting on deck for the Red Raiders of Derby. We called Sam in last minute because Steve Riley, my partner in crime for state championship baseball, was actually scouting for Derby throughout the state tournament, and he's been helping out with the coaching staff today. So that last second, it was nice to have Sammy stop on by and help us out. We do appreciate it, Sam.
Not a problem, and as we know, you mentioned his book earlier, so Steve, very, very involved in Derby baseball. Used to be a coach there, so of course, naturally, he'd want to take the headset off for a little while and enjoy the game.
Of course, he was on the coaching staff of Seymour last year when they made their way to a state championship game, a tough loss to Montville. There's a pop-up in the foul territory. Tristan Budzik will put it away. So Dobek is retired on a little pop-up in the foul territory. That's what you see a lot of now with that PB Core bat, is those little weak pop-ups like that.
Yeah, it really changes the way the game's played, because a few years ago, that's a high pop-up, might be some more trouble, but now it's in on the hands, and the pitcher is rewarded for making a good pitch, which is how it should be.
Haydu at the plate. That first curveball in for the strike. The catcher, fly ball out to center, his first time. 1-0-1. 2 out, runner down at first base. So far, that leadoff walk to Krieger has not hurt. That pitch in for the strike, and quickly the count goes 0-2. Doug Davenport looking for his first strikeout of the ball game. The 0-2 missed outside. Looks like they were wasting one right there. Looked like they had a notion that Krieger might take off.
Be a good time to put the runner in motion, try to move the defense around, make something happen as the count's 1-2.
Here comes the 1-2. Runner goes, and that ball driven into left field for a base hit. Good hit there by Colin Haydu as he was able to turn on the offering. And now you get runners at first and second. And it brings up Michael Krieger. Krieger walked back in the second inning.
Davenport let that 1-2 pitch right over the middle, and Haydu did a good job to turn on and line into left field for a base hit. Not a great two-strike pitch there out of Davenport.
They kind of left it up there a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah, and Haydu made him pay for it.
Here comes the pitch, and that hangs high for a ball. Count goes 1 and no strikes. Rivera on deck. Krieger at the plate. Game-tying run. Down the bag at second here for Derby as we're in the bottom of the third inning. And the 1-0 over for the strike call.
Davenport right now having some trouble getting that curveball over. His fastball command's been pretty well, but that show-me curveball not doing much as that one bounces in.
That goes to 2 balls, 1 strike. John McMahon, the shortstop, is angling towards that base at second, trying to get behind the runner and bother Raymond Krieger a little bit. Now he'll back off to his normal spot with the outfield just about straight away. 2-1 pitch, and that's driven high in the air to left field. Going back is Sorois, and he'll reach up and make the catch. It was well hit and well played defensively by Sorois.
Yeah, great job by Sorois. Drifted at the beginning, but then he sprinted, got back in position, and made the nice over-the-shoulder catch to retire the side.
So Derby will leave a runner in scoring position. We're through 3, and Cromwell holding on to the lead here in this Class S championship by the score of 2-1 over the Derby Red Raiders. Back with the top of 4 right after these messages.
Everybody knows that high school sports generate suspense, excitement, and drama.
They also generate higher grade point averages, stronger work habits, and greater self-esteem.
Everybody knows that high school sports give us more value for our entertainment dollar.
They also give us leaders committed to strengthening communities right here in Connecticut. The true value of playing sports in school can't be measured in wins and losses or dollars and cents. Studies show that participation in sports, along with other extracurricular activities, is one of the best ways to teach leadership, cooperation, accountability, and other invaluable life skills. Don't just stand on the sidelines. Encourage the young people you know to get in the game. When you do, you'll be helping them get ahead in life. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference and the Connecticut Association of Athletic Directors.
Right back here at Palmer Field, it's been quite a run for both Cromwell and Derby, history-wise in the game of baseball here at the high school level. They have combined now, counting these 2 appearances, appearance each, of course, in this Class S game, 15 times between the 2.
Yeah, Cromwell has made it 9 times previous. They're 2-7. They've lost 7 straight championship games.
That ball's going to be fouled on the left field line.
They've won their first 2, have lost 7 straight. Their last appearance came in 2010 when they lost 4-2 to Northwest Catholic, who they actually got some revenge on in the semifinal round, defeating them 8-1. Of course, Northwest Catholic, the number 1 seed in this Class S bracket.
Count 1-1 to Kevin Radowitz, and that pitch missed outside.
Derby undefeated.
Let me just correct myself. Steven Radowitz at the plate, not Kevin, the center fielder.
Derby undefeated.
Ground ball. Hit down to McMahon, scoops it up, a little bit of a slide. Might be watching the French Open where they slide all over that clay surface. Here's a little bit of clay, then a little bit of grass. That's Wimbledon. And a throw to the bag at first, Steven Radowitz. Got to bring other sports into it once in a while. Throwing out Radowitz for 3, 1 down.
Perfect leeway, though. It goes from the clay to the grass. That's what they're doing in tennis right now. The French Open just about to wrap up. That'll finish up tomorrow.
Here comes the pitch, and is Nadal in the finals again in the French Open?
Nadal and Djokovic in the finals tomorrow. big surprise.
Yeah, big surprise. Djokovic is coming on. He's been terrific.
Playing very well. Just to finish up that quick history there, Derby 3-0 in state championship appearances. Their last one was in 1996 when they beat Sheepog Valley 8-5. So it's been a while for this Red Raider squad.
Budznik will hit a slow roller down to McMahon, scoop it up and get it to the bag at first. For the out, the headlong slide by Budzick. Now, at the major league level, when you do that slide into the bag at first, you get fined an awful lot by a manager. Very dangerous to do that.
And it slows you down. You lose a step sliding into first. The only time you should be sliding into first is when the first baseman leaves his feet and you have to get underneath to avoid the tag. Otherwise, it just slows you down, kills some of your momentum.
Logan Lassard to the plate, singled sharply his first time, and that pitch is a strike call. So Lassard, who had a base hit back in the second, up with the bases empty here in the fourth. Cromwell at the plate. They have the 2-1 lead in the fourth inning. Just tuning in, Cromwell in the gray and black, you consider that. That ball fouled off, red numerals. Derby Red Raiders in their white uniforms. Those uniforms look like they could be from maybe the 50s, Sam. Don't they?
They do, especially with those socks. The stirrup socks really top off those uniforms.
There's a strike three call as Krieger goes backdoor on Lassard. Pretty pitch. That is his fifth strikeout of the ball game in a 1-2-3 inning. He's starting to find his stride. He's starting to mow him down as he got himself a total of 7, 8, 9 in a row. He's retired. Yes, he has, all the way back to the second inning. Back with the bottom half of 4. Your score: Cromwell 2 and Derby 1.
It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons. It may not take place in a classroom, but it's an ideal environment for learning. It may not involve a diploma, but it can help prepare Connecticut's young people for life. It's high school sports. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students that participate in high school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think again. Better yet, think about attending a high school sporting event in your community. You'll be amazed by what you see. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference and the Connecticut Association of Athletic Directors.
Cromwell holding on to the 2-1 lead, bottom of the fourth inning, and Nick Lemire to lead it off, the left fielder for Derby, in the first pitch missed inside. Lemire in the ball game is walked. On deck is LaRue, RBI base hit today, and then Dylan McMahon, who's 0 for 2. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, and in there for the strike call from Doug Davenport.
Important for Davenport to settle down a little bit, get his command under control. He struggled with it, 4 walks through the first 3 innings.
He's still looking to record his first strikeout, too. He touched up for a run back in the second. Here's the pitch, and that's a check swing. I might have mixed up the catch of Radowitz because it just ricocheted off his body there. Looks like he'll be all right. I don't think it hit the bat or anything like that. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Some more action down in the Cromwell bullpen. This time number 20, B.J. McNalton's out there.
That's a pretty pitch. Curveball, strike 3 call on Lemire. The best pitch of the ball game for Doug Davenport, and that's his first strikeout as he catches Lemire looking, brings up Jordan LaRue. LaRue with a big base hit back in the second inning to bring home the first Derby run, the only Derby run. Derby now out hitting Cromwell 4-1. Here comes the pitch, and it's in there for the strike. Cromwell scored 2 runs in the first without the benefit of a base hit. Derby got off to a shaky start defensively with a couple of errors. That pitch a little high. Cromwell started strongly defensively, did a pretty nice job with the 3 ground ball outs in the first, and they've been clean defensively. They have not made an error,
which is crucial in a high school game. A lot of times it's a team that flashes the leather the best that comes out on top.
Davenport's pitch, swing and a miss, and the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jordan LaRue, number 9 hitter in the lineup for Derby. Hitting for Olenowski, who's playing right field today. And there's a swing and a miss and a strikeout of LaRue. So 2 consecutive strikeouts for Davenport. Now he's trying to keep pace with Raymond Krieger, who settled 9 down in a row.
All of a sudden, Davenport getting a ton of swings and misses as he gets the 8 and 9 batters, one looking, one swinging for 2 strikeouts, his first 2 of the ball game. So maybe Davenport starting to find a good rhythm here in the 4th inning.
McMahon of the plate takes strike 1. He bounced out 1-4-3 when he deflected off the pitcher's glove and popped up in the foul territory to the third baseman. Yeah, the first time around against number 8 and 9. Matter of fact, 7, 8, and 9. He walked 2 and gave up a base hit. So much better job. There's a ball hit down the left field line on the line. That is a base hit. Maybe more for McMahon as he puts the brakes on. That was great retrieval by Soroyce in left field. Boy, he went to get that in the foul territory, Sam.
Yeah, he had to go a good distance because he wasn't really playing on the line out there in left field. That ball was ripped down the line by McMahon, but Soroyce was able to get over there, backhanded, and have a strong throw into the shortstop, who was the cutoff man there, and held McMahon to a single.
So now with 2 outs, Derby trying to get something going. Sal Froscino to the plate, the center fielder. He is singled in 2 tries, swings from the left side.
We'll see if McMahon will be in motion here.
That pitch over for the strike call. They left a runner in scoring position back in the 3rd. They certainly had a great chance in the 2nd when they, I believe, left the bases full. Here comes the pitch, and at the strike call, the outside corner quickly 0-2 to Froscino. You have Raymond Krieger on deck. Sometimes it's all about timing, too. Krieger's been waiting, the number 3 hitter, and been left in that on-deck circle like he is again on the strike 3 call. How about that? Doug Davenport had not recorded a strikeout until the 4th, and now he strikes out the side, including 2 calls. So now we're through. 4 complete, and Cromwell holding on to the lead at 2-1 over Derby. Back with a top of 5 on the CIAC network.
These days, the concept of value matters more than ever. And you'd be hard-pressed to find a better value than high school sports. Extracurricular activities, including sports, make up about 2% of the budget for a typical Connecticut high school. In return, participation in sports promotes citizenship and sportsmanship. Sports also instill a sense of community pride and teach lifelong lessons about cooperation and self-discipline. They encourage physical fitness. They produce community leaders. By offering so many benefits to the community for such a small percentage of a school's overall budget, it's easy to see why high school sports are one of the best bargains around. The real cost would come from not having them at all. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference and the Connecticut Association of Athletic Directors.
Good view of Parmer Field, historic Parmer Field, as Ramirez will lead it off. There's a big swing and a miss. Alex Ramirez struck out his first time, the sophomore right fielder for the Cromwell Panthers. They have the 2-1 lead. They scored 2 in the first. They're trying to make it last against Krieger now, who has settled down and retired 9 in a row.
You can just tell that Krieger settled into a rhythm here. He gets the ball, he snaps it back into the glove, gets right back on the mound, ready to pitch.
The 0-2, knocked down by McMahon and ricochets out the center field. That had some top spin and it dropped quickly. McMahon kind of went into, I'm going to protect my body mode, and knocked it down. Really never got the leather on it cleanly. That will be ruled a base hit. It was an extraordinary effort to try to make that play, I get a feeling. So Ramirez with a base hit. Would you call it an infield hit or would you call that an outfield hit? That's where the ball ended up, Sam.
It's an interesting call. I think I'd go infield hit. Hit the infielder, we'll go infield hit.
I think I might have gone error.
Well,
Magula to the plate.
That's another discussion right there.
Derby committed 2 errors back in the first. There's a bunt has popped up. Robeck was charging from third. It's easy to talk that way sitting up here. You don't have that ball hit hard at you at 100 miles an hour with some top spin on it, right?
Yeah, it's a lot easier when you're sitting 200 feet away.
Absolutely. Although when I was working in minor league baseball, I went down and took infield practice while the batting practice was going on. was always curious to how that all worked. I had a chance to do it a few times until the owner of the team found out I was doing it on the road and said, I don't think my insurance is going to cover you getting hit in the noggin. Get off the field. That was becoming pretty good. There's a bunt out in front of home, picked up by Krieger, and on the first, the ball is dropped by Volo, and everybody is safe. So Ramirez got second base, and that will be an error, and they're going to charge it on the pitcher.
Volo's had some difficulty over there at first base. Krieger got the throw to him. It was a little bit short, but it hit off Volo's glove. And now Krieger is bending down at the knees, and now we're going to have a visit at the mound.
Very interesting.
Krieger almost seemed to try to guide that ball over to first base rather than to just throw it.
So the conversation continues. You can take a look there. So I think for Jacob Regula, it'll be a sacrifice bunt. He will not be charged with an at-bat, and the error will be on the throw of the pitcher there because he was trying to sacrifice the run along. I don't think you punish him for that. And Ramirez goes to second base. He had singled to get on. McMahon will come up to the plate now with runners at first and second, nobody out. Cromwell trying to extend their 2-1 lead here, Sam, in the fifth. Would you score it that way? I think that's the way I'd score that right there.
I agree, because he was definitely bunting with the intent to sacrifice. And the error was made, and now the first baseman, Volo, way in as they're expecting another bunt by John McMahon, who squared the bunt in his first two at-bats, almost laid a beautiful one down in his second at-bat, just kicked foul at the last moment.
And then he was knocked out, 3 unassisted. Prior to that, he had walked in the first and scored, so he had a very good at-bat that first at-bat. Eventually got on and came around to score. Here comes the pitch to the plate. He bunts it down the third base side. This one's going to roll in the foul territory, and Kubik will quickly get to it.
So that's the second one this game McMahon's had roll foul like that. He's showing that he is a very capable bunter as he just bunts that ball down soft, and he teases with that line every time. Just has to get it a little bit farther out into the grass, and he's going to have a successful bunt.
Lemire in left field. Porcino in center. Lanowski in right field defensively for Derby. Will they come into play here? Runners at first and second for Cromwell. Raymond Krieger looking in for the sign into the windup in the 0-1, and it hit him. McMahon kind of leaned out there over the plate a little bit, and boy, did he pay the price as he's hit by the pitch. He'll be okay. That is going to load the bases with nobody out. And what a chance for Cromwell to really break this game open. Now, yeah, they plate umpire and third base umpire are going to talk about it to see if McMahon was leaning out into that strike zone there, Sam. And they say, no, he was not.
The right choice to have that discussion because he was leaning out a little bit much. But I think in the end they made the right call as he did make an intent to get out of the way of the ball. So a good call by the umpiring crew. And now Derby season really hanging in the balance right now as we have the bases loaded with nobody out. And just as we were saying, Krieger, we thought he had settled into a good rhythm. Now he has to really work to get out of this jam.
Gave up that single to Ramirez that deflected off the second baseman. The infield comes in, and that hit the batter, Kevin Radowitz, and a run will score. 2 consecutive hit batters. Alex Ramirez will cross home. It is now 3-1, Cromwell over Derby. They have scored all 3 of their runs. By the way, an RBI for Radowitz right there, the hard way. Bases still loaded, but they've scored all 3 runs without really the benefit of a base hit.
Only 1 hit in the 2 scoring innings so far, and that was the leadoff hit this inning by Ramirez.
So Royce now to the plate, the left fielder, who struck out and hit a fly ball out to center. What a strange, strange game. The game of baseball here in the 5th. 3-1, Cromwell now leading Derby. Infield still in around the horn. Here comes the pitch, and that's a strike call over the outside corner.
And if you're Cromwell, this is exactly who you want up at the plate right now. You got your number 3 hitter, Pat Sorois, up with the bases loaded, nobody out.
Here's the pitch outside, and the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Bases still loaded. Outfield has come in a step, too. And infield, on the lip of the infield grass, that makes Sorois that much better, much more dangerous. Ground ball, there it is, right through Volo, and in the right field for a base hit. They're going to send 2. Here comes the throw. It's going to be cut off, and down to second base, and sliding underneath it all with a heads-up base running play is Pat Sorois. 2 runs will score. Regula scored easily from third. How about McMahon flying from second? Radowitz goes to the bag at third. Sir Royce ends at second. All kinds of action. He gets 2 RBIs.
Great piece of hitting there by Sir Royce. Took 2 tough curveballs off the outside corner for balls, and got one he liked and drove it through the right side of the infield, and it drove in 2 runs.
Cromwell now leading 5-1. That's a crooked number 3 on the board. And you have Tyler Allen to the plate. He has struck out Reach on an error. 3 errors by Derby today, including an error in this inning. Couple of hit batters, couple of base hits. That's 3 on the board. There's a ball hit down to second. Fielded by McMahon. Comes home with the throw, and it gets away from the catcher, Haydu. 2 more runs will score, and down to the bag at second goes Tyler Allen. Interesting decision by McMahon, trying to cut down a run at the plate. Instead, 2 will score, and ending up at second is Tyler Allen. So he'll be recorded the fielder's choice, and it'll be E4 allowing the 2 runs to score on the throw, and that is now 5 errors. 5 errors on Derby here today. It is a 7-1 game. He will get an RBI out of it, okay, because the runner at third base. Wow.
How quickly the game of baseball can spiral out of control on you. And McMahon, I thought he was just going to concede the run, take the easy out at first base. The infield was playing back, and then all of a sudden McMahon, who was looking towards first base, kind of threw off to the side, tried to whip it sidearm to home, threw it away, and it allowed the second run to come in and score. So it appeared that Derby was trying to just minimize the damage, get some outs, but then McMahon cost him another run by throwing it away. And 5 errors, and you never want to see that happen to a ball club.
Yeah, that is a tough break right there. 2 errors in this inning alone.
And still nobody out.
Yeah, there's no way he's going to get Radowitz, too, coming down that line at third. I mean, even a perfect throw, I don't even think it would have been close.
No, by the time he threw that, Radowitz was already 75% of the way down that third baseline, and the throw just wasn't going to be in time.
Steve Radowitz hits a high fly to center. That is caught for the out. Quickly thrown through the cutoff, the shortstop Michael Krieger, and picked up by the third baseman. So Steve Radowitz on 1 pitch, fly ball out. He's now 0 for 3. And that brings up Tristan Budzik. Budzik has struck out and grounded out. So he's 0 for 2 today as the number 6 hitter in this Cromwell lineup. So the Panthers leading it 7-1. That is a big number 5 up on the board, swinging a miss right there.
76th pitch of the game right there for Krieger, and that's not what they were expecting with Krieger on the mound. 12-2 on the season, and he just hasn't had his best stuff today, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either.
And, of course, the 5 errors don't help the cause.
That hurts. That means you're throwing a lot more pitches than necessary. Absolutely. Then he hit 2 batters. I mean, you got to look at all the little factors involved. That could be some frustration, too. But it's not going well. Derby actually out-hitting Cromwell 5-2, but trails 7-1. That ball's going to be popped up. It should be playable. Bolo camping underneath it and makes the 2-handed catch, which is good to see when you're struggling a bit defensively. It's been like all positions have had a problem or 2 here and there. You know, it's not like around the infield.
Number 6, Logan Lazard.
So now you have 2 down. Logan Lazard to the plate, the 9th batter to come to the plate. He has struck out and singled, stolen the bases, Lazard, the designated hitter. How about Mr. Davenport sitting in that dugout right now for Cromwell, looking up at that board going into the bottom of the 5th. He'll have at least a 6-run lead.
Couldn't be happier in that dugout right now for Davenport. Has some breathing room to work with. Can ease the nerves just a touch.
Do some of that maintenance pitching, too, where you don't have to be pressured by throwing strike after strike. Just let him hit it, let your defense do the work that's played cleanly behind you. Check swing you to go around. They say he did. Count now 1-2 to Lazard. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. The pitch to the plate by Krieger. Swing and a miss, ball drop. Haydu will find a throwing lane and complete the strikeout with a toss down, but 9 to the plate in the inning. Well, 9 had been a lucky number early on for Raymond Krieger. He had retired 9 in a row until the 5th, and then he faced 9 batters in a row, and 5 go up on the board, a runner left on. Wow, 7-1 Cromwell with the lead over Derby. back with the bottom of the fifth right here at Palmer Field on the CIAC network.
This may sound like a typical high school basketball game being played on a Friday night in Connecticut. In fact, it's a crash course in cooperation and teamwork. It's a test of dedication, determination, and drive. It's character development in action. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think about this. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students who participate in school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. At the same time, playing sports helps teach lessons not covered in the classroom. Lessons like tolerance, respect for the rules, and the importance of supporting your community. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference and the Connecticut Association of Athletic Directors.
Well, the Derby Red Raiders coming to the plate here in the bottom of the fifth, and stepping up is Raymond Krieger. Krieger, the pitcher, has walked a couple of times. He is the pitcher of record for Derby, and he'll try to turn things around here. He looks at the scoreboard and realizes, wow, Cromwell's up by 6. I need to get going here. He's the number 3 hitter in the lineup, and that pitch outside. Volo and then Dubek scheduled to follow against Doug Davenport, looking for his 4th postseason victory. That pitch down low. Yeah, the way they put the CIC schedule together, Sam, it's if you got an ace, you got a guy you want to go with. If you work it right, he can pitch the majority of the games, 4 of the 5, maybe all 5.
Especially if you look at what Cromwell's been able to do, winning, with the exception of their first game. They've won their first game 3-0, then they won 10-3, 12-4, 8-1. That allows you, if you're up and feel comfortable with your other guys, you can take your number 1 out and save his inning counts and allow him to start numerous games.
Krieger walked for the 3rd time here today. That is the 5th walk issued by Doug Davenport, who's been an interesting study. He has had some control problems with the 5 walks. He's given up the 5 hits, yet he's only given up 1 run, and he has 3 strikeouts. I mean, you look at some of the numbers and the way it's going, you think it might be flip-flop, but it is not.
Effectively wild, as I say.
Yeah, exactly. Bolo is 0 for 2, ground ball out, fly ball out. First pitch up high for ball 1.
5 straight out of the zone here for Davenport, though, to start the inning. And again, we see some action down there in the Cromwell bullpen. Again, it's B.J. McNulty. McNulton, his 2nd straight inning going out there to the bullpen. The right-hander, senior, wearing number 20.
Sorois, Radowitz, and Ramirez in the outfield from left to right defensively for Cromwell, all playing straight away against Volo. Volo wiggles that bat a little bit. Big, tall, right-handed hitter, and that pitch is a strike call over the outside corner. Yeah, take a big, tall, right-handed hitter and pitch it low and away and see if he can go get it. And count goes 2-1.
Make him hit your pitch.
Davenport contending with Krieger at first. Curves it over for the strike. Count goes 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And we'll see if Davenport, we noticed he got a little fidgety with runners on base in the earlier innings. Let's see if he settles down, doesn't worry about the runner as much with the score as it is.
That ball fouled out. Yeah, he has not been paying too much attention to Mr. Krieger over at first.
He can afford to do that a little bit with a 6-run lead.
Kevin Radowitz behind the plate. Tyler Allen trying to hold the runner tight at first. That pitch hangs up high. Count goes full 3-2. You have Jacob Agula down at second base. John McMahon at the shortstop, and Christian Budzik at third base defensively today for Cromwell. That pitch, ground ball, kind of jammed him down to the shortstop. The out the bag at second, and the throw to first not in time as Agula had some problems getting that ball out of the glove. So no error on the throw. You cannot presume there'll be a double play. So fielder's choice for Volo. He's safe there. It wasn't hit really hard. That would have been a spectacular double play.
Got the lead runner, though, which is important at this point. Cromwell just trying to get outs any way that they can.
Dubik stepping up to the plate. He is singled and popped up in the foul territory. Swings at the first pitch. That's going to find the gap in right center field. He's going to be chased down by Radowitz all the way to the warning track. Goes into the slide. Turn the bag at third is Krieger. Krieger's going to chug on home and in with a stand-up triple to the gap in right center field is Brian Dubik. check it. That was Bolo who actually scored it. That's right. Krieger had been wiped off the bases. So now it is 7-2. And how about Mr. Bolo going around the bases?
Moves pretty well for a big kid. Got
did.
around those bases easily. And the first extra base hit we've seen all afternoon is a triple out of Dobeck. And it gets some momentum going in the way of Derby.
Haydu stepping up to the plate. Now it's a 7-2 game with one out. Dobeck able to come up with that RBI triple to the gap in right center. Radowitz went sliding all the way to the warning track gravel out there at the 380 mark to get that ball. So the conversation out in the mound. Kevin Radowitz out there too. Coach Paparella of Cromwell trying to win a state championship. You mentioned how many times they've been to a state championship game, but they come up empty once and again, don't they?
7 times in a row they have lost the state championship game after winning their first 2 appearances. Last appearance 2010, 4-2 loss to Northwest Catholic.
I remember that game. Well, they had called time, played umpire to get back in, making sure everybody was settled into their places, dugout and the like. Haydu swings the bat from the right side. That pitch hangs high from Davenport, and the count goes 1 ball, no strike. Here in the bottom of the 5th, 7-2 you score. Derby now out hitting Cromwell 6-2, but trailed by 5 runs. That pitch is over for the strike. Well, there's still plenty of time left here, Sam. I mean, only in the bottom of the 5th inning. Derby is a home team.
It is important, though, for Derby to get that run across over at third base. You can't leave him stranded there with 1 out. They have to find any means possible to get that run across, and Cromwell is giving them that run. All the batter Haydu has to do is hit a ground ball somewhere, anywhere but third, really, and that run will score.
That pitch in for the strike. Yeah, he certainly doesn't want to roll it over and just knock it down to the third baseman, Budzik. Budzik playing behind the bag at third. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Middle infielders are set. Here comes the pitch, and missed outside. Radowitz was trying to get a strike call from somebody out in the field somewhere, I got a feeling.
I think he just assumed the strike 3 call was going to be called, as he pointed out to his pitcher Davenport as to say, way to go.
Here comes a 3-2 pitch. That ball hit into left field for a base hit, and a run will score. And Derby trying to just whittle their way back into this game. It is now 7-3 as Haydu with an RBI base hit. Triple single combination will always bring home a run.
Second hit of the game for Colin Haydu, the catcher out of that number 6 spot.
That's 2 runs home in the inning, and I believe we're going to see the last of Davenport here. Yep, they're going to make a pitching change, so we'll take a quick break. We'll talk about the pitching change, try to put that line score together on Doug Davenport. He'll be responsible for a runner on, so he'll go 4 1/3 here in the Class S State Championship game. Back with more with your score, Cromwell 7 and Derby 3.
Everybody knows that high school sports generate suspense, excitement, and drama.
They also generate higher grade point averages, stronger work habits, and greater self-esteem.
Everybody knows that high school sports give us more value for our entertainment dollar.
They also give us leaders committed to strengthening communities right here in Connecticut. The true value of playing sports in school can't be measured in wins and losses or dollars and cents. Studies show that participation in sports, along with other extracurricular activities, is one of the best ways to teach leadership, cooperation, accountability, and other invaluable life skills. Don't just stand on the sidelines. Encourage the young people you know to get in the game. When you do, you'll be helping them get ahead in life. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference and the Connecticut Association of Athletic Directors.
Well, Cromwell continues to lead Derby by the score of 7-3. The afternoon has come to a close for Doug Davenport. I didn't notice if he went back in the field or just a straight change as McNaughton comes on to pitch for Davenport after he goes 4 1/3 here, Sam.
Yeah, Davenport, 4 1/3 innings, 84 pitches, 5 walks, 3 strikeouts, allowed 7 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned to this point. He is responsible for the runner at first. 3 runs so far, is responsible for the runner at first.
Michael Krieger, the shortstop of the plate, is walked and hit a fly ball out. He swings from the right side. First pitch in for the strike from B.J. McNaughton. And that pitch just missed outside with a straight fastball. Count goes 1-1. That was very, very close.
Loud groan from the Cromwell supporters on that one as they've moved back to the edge of their seats as this game not as comfortable as it was moments ago.
And now it's a 4-run game, still just 1 out. You got Haydu at first, who just had the RBI single. Count goes 2-1 to Michael Krieger, the shortstop. The pitch to the plate, and Krieger hits it down to the second baseman, fielded by Regula, the shortstop, and on the first, and that throw took the first baseman, Allen, off the bag. And I don't know what they're claiming here. A little bit of a conversation. They're going to call it a double play is what they're going to do. They're going to say the base runner, Haydu, went out of the base path there to disrupt that throw along. Interesting. I didn't see it that way. Derby's going to talk about it, but anyways, it will be recorded as a double play, 4, 6, and 3. And that's a big break for Cromwell. They got things going their way through 5 complete. And your score, it is Cromwell 7 and Derby 3. Back with more after this.
That's my guess.
It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons. It may not take place in a classroom, but it's an ideal environment for learning. It may not involve a diploma, but it can help prepare Connecticut's young people for life. It's high school sports. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students that participate in high school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think again. Better yet, think about attending a high school sporting event in your community. You'll be amazed by what you see. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference and the Connecticut Association of Athletic Directors.
Back here on the road again in the background playing. Sam Dawson will be on the road this summer as you're going to work as an intern in the Cape Cod League, I understand, as a play-by-play broadcaster. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Really looking forward to it. Some great baseball out there, so that'll be a lot of fun for the Brewster Whitecaps team.
I'll have to come watch them play. Probably not. Come visit you, however. You got to have those nice digs there in Brewster, right?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I like
doing
that.
all right for a couple months. Living the good life. Then I'll go back to a nice college dorm.
There you go. You enjoy to have a nice summer. And I wish you the best of luck with that, Sam.
Thank you very much. Of course, it was with your help that I was able to get that internship, doing games with you for American Legion last year.
Thank you for the kind words. And, you know, that's one of the reasons why we had built sportingnewsct.com was to help young guys out like you and give you a chance to get going and see if you like it or not, number one, right?
Well,
and you gotta love it.
So far, so good, so thanks for the help.
This is Ramirez, and he'll pop it up and foul it off to the first base side. One of the fans tried to make a nifty catch. It was down out of my view, so I can't tell you, but the moans and groans and the almost, I guess.
Actually, that one might have hit a car back there.
Oh, is that what it was? Went that far? That brings you a lot of oohs and ahs. Ramirez at the plate in the ball game. He is struck out, singled, and scored. Single back in the 5th. He had the leadoff single, matter of fact, when Cromwell broke it open with 5 to lead 7-3 here into the top of the 6th inning. Regula on deck in the top of the order with McMahon. Well, Krieger's still out there working, and that pitch down a little low. This pitch count's got to be getting up there a little bit.
87 pitches now through 5+ innings for Krieger.
Krieger won the strike call desperately right there. Here comes the 3-2. Boy, jammed him. That's a slow roller picked up by Dobik from the infield. Grass low throw over to first. Gets away from Bolo. And down to the bag at second. Standing up is Alex Ramirez. Wow. That would be the 6th error on Derby. And I would imagine they may rule out an error. Let's wait and see. No, they're going to rule out a base hit. Mercy, and the error on the throw allowing the runner to take second. So Ramirez will be awarded an infield base hit and the error to go to second.
So now up to 6 errors in the game for Derby. And that was a tough play over there at third base for Dobeck. Slow roller, tried to rush the throw a little bit, and he short hopped it. And Volo couldn't pick it.
So at the plate is Agula. And that ball running into third base. I was looking down right in the score when they threw the pitch, Sam, so I missed the entire thing. I know the folks at home could see it on the video, but I missed it. What just happened?
That was a ground ball to short in the hole, ranging over. Krieger tried to throw off his back foot, throw a little bit short, and it'll go as a base hit in the books for Jake Regula.
All right, thank you. I missed the whole thing. And baseball's amazing. They say it's such a slow game, but if you look down for 1 nanosecond, you just miss something, especially when they swing at the first one. So McMahon to the plate with runners at first and third, as Ramirez showing some giddy up going second to third base there. So McMahon to the plate. He has walked, been hit by a pitch on an attempted bunt, and he has bounced out to the first baseman, Volo.
Very heads-up play by Ramirez going over to third base. Knew the throw was going to be tough to get across the diamond, so he waited that extra second, then took the bag.
They got runners at first and second with nobody out here for Cromwell in the 6th inning, trying to add to their 7-3 lead. The pitch to the plate is over for the strike call. Kevin Radowitz is on deck.
Interesting that Derby is electing to play the infield back here as they trail by 4 runs.
There's a pitch that hit the batter. Coming down the line was Ramirez. He thought it just got away, but that's McMahon hit by pitch for the second time here. Now you got the bases loaded.
Third hit by pitch in the game for Krieger. He's hit 3 batters, 2 of course in a row back in the 5th inning. Now he hits McMahon, as you just said, Don, for the second time in the game.
So Radowitz to the plate. He has reached on that fly ball out, been hit by a pitch. Collected an RBI because he got hit with the bases loaded. He's up again with the bases loaded. And nobody out. Boy, 2 consecutive innings. Cromwell has put a lot of heat on Krieger and company. That pitch, it just hit Radowitz as it sailed inside, and another run will score. And that's another RBI for Kevin Radowitz. I don't think I've ever seen that twice in one game like that.
Well, he's not afraid to get on base the hard way. He's doing what he needs to do to get runs across and on the board for his team.
So it's now 8-3, still nobody out, and Pat Soroyce will step up to the plate. He has struck out, fly ball out, and a 2-run base hit back in the 5th inning. So this one's starting to get a little bit ugly. Derby still with that infield in. Yeah, that 2-run base hit by Soroyce was against that drawn-in infield, you might remember there, Sam, when it went through Volo down at first base.
Yeah, that one kind of ate Volo up a little bit. He was in on the grass. So Royce really got a hold of it, hit it hard on the ground, took a tough hop by him, and it just that play kind of sums up the day so far for Derby, taking that extra hard skip and not being able to get in front of it.
Good look at Sumner Sokran, who picked up his 500th win during this tournament, going back to the dugout. And certainly an outstanding career with Derby. Here comes the pitch to the plate, and that is over for the strike call to the left-handed hitting Pat Soroyce, the left fielder. Well, Soroyce can break it wide open and make this game perhaps uncatchable from Derby's standpoint with a big base hit. That's in for the strike.
And so far this inning, already such a backbreaker for Derby. They got 2 runs, got it back to 4, got it to where it's manageable to come back, and now already 2 runs across the plate for Cromwell.
Here's a pitch chopped to the second base McMahon. He'll come home with a throw out there, and that's what they'll get. So the drawn in infield that time works. And Soroyce he'll reach on the field. His choice is the runner coming home. Agula retired 4-2.
First baseman, number
That's the first out of the inning.
Tyler Allen.
Tyler Allen, the first baseman. My scorebook's starting to look like a Christmas tree. How about yours?
Yeah, I got stuff all over the place. Starting to get a little bit confusing to look and see where you have stuff.
So Tyler Allen to the plate. He's reached on an error, reached on a fielder's choice, was part of an errant throw on all that. It did collect an RBI, and he has struck out. Now he finds a gap in right center field. That is big trouble. It's going to be chased down by Olenowski and back into the infield. That was a great job by Olenowski because only 2 runs are going to score on that. I thought that might clear them all. But Tyler Allen with 2 more RBI. He's got 3 in the ball game with that double. Scoring easily, McMahon and Radowitz. Going to third was Soroyce. It is now 10-3.
And the first extra base hit of the game for Cromwell couldn't have come at a better time for them as Allen split the gap, drove in 2 runs, and put this back up to a 7-run lead for Cromwell, 10-3.
Steven Radowitz coming up to the plate.
Now they're going to call the trainer out, it looks like.
Look at the catcher. Colin Haydu. I don't know if he got something in his eye or not. It looks like that's what it might be as we take a look at Raymond Krieger. Krieger just been a rough one here today. 10 runs on 5 hits. His team has made 6 errors behind him. Now that's Haydu as they attend to Haydu down there. Looks like he has a bloody nose.
Looks like it is.
Yeah. Maybe when he took his mask off, he may have clipped his nose.
Center fielder number 37, Steve Radford.
Looks like he'll be all right.
If things couldn't go any worse for Derby, you can't even take off your catcher's mask today.
Yeah, I know, that's right.
I mean, I'm sure he's been catching for years, whipped the mask off like that hundreds of times, and just to make matters a little bit worse, you give yourself a bloody nose in the championship game.
Runners at second and third. Infield will come in with 1 down. Ground ball. That's going to be hit through the drawn in infield, and a run will score. And they're going to send another coming around. This is Allen coming home. The throw, not in time. How about Allen? The right fielder came on and got that ball. Olenowski, and looked like he may get it to the infield for the throw home in time, but no. And Allen chugging from second. 2 more on the board. Radowitz with an RBI base hit. So he'll collect 2 RBIs, and it's now 12-3.
Allen actually running right through the stop sign. The third base coach was holding him up, but Allen had those wheels moving, and he wasn't going to slow down until he reached home, and he slid in there safe just in front of the tag.
That's how Allen is a senior. He's probably thinking, this is the last time you're ever going to give me a stop sign. I'm going. I'm scoring here in this championship game. That's his first run scored. Now you look up and down. Steve Radowitz, Budzik, Lassard are the only 3 players who have not scored a run here today.
That pitch there, the 100th pitch of the game for Krieger.
Budzik has struck out, popped out, ground ball out, so he's 0 for 3, the third baseman, number 6 hitter.
Krieger visibly upset at himself right now.
Here comes the pitch, and that's low and inside. That is ball 4, so he's down to the bag at first. And I get runs at first and second. Lassard coming up for the second consecutive inning. Cromwell has sent 9 to the plate, and I think that is finally going to be all for Raymond Krieger.
As he shakes his head no, he doesn't want to leave this ball game.
Come to Cochran. Going out to get his senior. Well, what a terrific career. It was a 4-year starter quarterback for Derby, and obviously a 4-year baseball player for Derby, pitching here in the state championship game, heading to Central Connecticut State University. And they're talking some stuff here, and I don't know, maybe he'll leave him in. I don't want to pull the trigger too soon. You never know, Sam. He didn't want to come out of the ball game. At this point, down 12-3.
Pitcher's already thrown 102 pitches. You got to think about his arm now at this point with the game seemingly out of reach. But as you said, anything can happen in baseball. But you can't imagine, even if he does complete this inning, that he's going to be able to complete this ball game with 102 pitches and already at least 15 appearances this season, as his record stands at 12-2, this being at least the 15th game he's pitched in this season. So a lot of innings, a lot of pitches hanging on that arm, and they're going to keep Krieger in there as I don't know if he talked the coach out of it or if he was just going to leave him in there from the start.
So Lassard will step up to the plate. He has struck out twice and singled. Here comes the pitch, and that is over for the strike call. Raymond Krieger saying, I started this deal, I'm part of this mess, let me finish this mess. Here comes the pitch, and that ball hit high in the air to the left fielder. Coming on is Lemaire. He should make the catch. No, it just dropped in front for a base hit. Boy, that looked rather routine. He just couldn't get to it. Just couldn't get to it. I thought he had time to camp underneath. I don't know if he misread that, Sam, or...
I wasn't watching him. I was watching the shortstop. Krieger go back on the ball. I thought he had a pretty good beat on it as well, but then it just dropped in. The ball maybe carried a little bit farther than Krieger thought and maybe a little bit shorter than the left fielder Lemaire thought, and it fell right in. Now batting around in this inning is Cromwell. And
Brings up Alex Ramirez, for the second time.
this book now becomes an official mess.
Absolutely. It is crazy. 12 runs on 7 hits for Cromwell. That pitch a little high. Ramirez, here in the 6th inning, has already had a base hit run scored. Matter of fact, he is 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored. So he's done a nice job as a sophomore right fielder. Was also part of the Cromwell football team. So plays a couple of sports for Cromwell High School.
Cromwell also has a very good football program. They've been a state power over the years.
Krieger, the 2-2 pitch, and that's in there for the strike 3 call. So Ramirez called out on strike. I think that gives us 2 down. No, only kidding, as we look at the scoreboard up there. 11th batter to come to the plate, Jake Regula. Regula has popped up in the ball game, reached on an error and scored and singled here in the 6th inning. So he's up for the 2nd time in the 6th. That pitch is going to be hit high near the center fielder. Bochino coming on the diving catch. Nice play. That ball got knocked down too. Maybe there's a little wind up there knocking the ball down, and Bochino throws the ball defiantly back into the infield. That was a nice play by the center fielder, and that will end the inning. But another crooked number 5 put up on the board for Cromwell. They have opened up a 12-3 lead. Back with the bottom of the 6th right after these messages.
These days, the concept of value matters more than ever. And you'd be hard-pressed to find a better value than high school sports. Extracurricular activities, including sports, make up about 2% of the budget for a typical Connecticut high school. In return, participation in sports promotes citizenship and sportsmanship. Sports also instill a sense of community pride and teach lifelong lessons about cooperation and self-discipline. They encourage physical fitness. They produce community leaders. By offering so many benefits to the community for such a small percentage of a school's overall budget, it's easy to see why high school sports are one of the best bargains around. The real cost would come from not having them at all. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference and the Connecticut Association of Athletic Directors.
Well, welcome back to the bottom of the 6th inning right here on the CIAC Network, your internet provider for the CIAC State Championships. And, of course, we're also working in conjunction. This game will be seen on CPTV Sports, which we're excited about also. Our good friends from CPTV Sports, your in-state television station. Collaborating to bring you this one, Nick Lemaire leading things off for Derby. He has reached on a walk and struck out. LaRue is on deck. And the pitch from McNaughton is down low for ball. Count goes 2-1. He came in relief of Davenport. Did that in the 5th inning as Davenport worked 4 to 3rd. So he's still up for the victory. No save opportunity. That ball cracked up in the air, and the left fielder coming on. Soroy's got a good jump. He's a good-looking left fielder out there, and Lemaire is gone. 1 down.
Yeah, he's played very well out there. He made that nice play earlier in the game where he cut off the ball that was down the line, made a strong throw back into the infield. So far, a well-played game for Cromwell. No errors in the field and only 3 runs allowed on 7 hits. So Cromwell really playing a very well-rounded game here in the state championship Class S championship game.
You're right, Derby on the flip side has allowed 7 hits, but they've committed 6 errors, and there's a total as a result of 12 Cromwell runs up there on the board, and a whole slew of hit batters. Things just can go right from the very first inning on for the Red Raiders.
It seemed that they were going to get things back moving in their direction. They cut it to 2-1. Krieger got into a rhythm, retired 9 in a row, had some strikeouts mixed in there, but then the wheels fell off, and they fell off quickly, allowing 10 runs in the last 2 innings.
20 batters to the plate over the last 2 innings for Cromwell, messing up our scorebook, too. Here comes the pitch, and that's a cat high. I'm going to design a scorebook that can handle that, 11 batter inning.
They don't design those. Never seen one.
Here's a swing and a miss. Ball was dropped by Radowitz. Kevin finds the angle. Throw to first. They complete the strikeout of LaRue. And I believe that is the first strikeout for McNaughton coming in relief. As the fourth in the ball game for Cromwell pitching, and it brings up Dylan McMahon with 2 out and the bases empty here in the bottom of the 6th.
And McNaughton doing a great job in relief. Came in, got that double play. A little bit of a controversial double play, but a double play nonetheless, and he's gotten the first 2 guys here in the 6th. A lot easier to pitch in relief, though, when you got a 12-3 lead.
B.J. McNaughton into the windup, looking loose, and the 0-1 curveball just missed outside. Cromwell coming into this game with a mark at 19-5, the 5th seed in the tournament. That ball is fouled back. For Cromwell, they beat Wamogo, 3-0. Had a nice win over Windsor Locks, 10-3. And there's strike 3 to McMahon, and it's a 1-2-3 inning, 2 strikeouts now for McNaughton. Just to continue the thought, they beat St. Paul Catholic 12-4, and then Northwest Catholic in the semis 8-1, and now they're on the verge of beating Derby for the Class S championship. We've got maybe, and I'm not going on a limb, maybe 1 inning to go. 12-3 score. Cromwell leading Derby. Back with the top of the 7th right here at gorgeous Palmer Field after these messages.
This may sound like a typical high school basketball game being played on a Friday night in Connecticut. In fact, it's a crash course in cooperation and teamwork. It's a test of dedication, determination, and drive. It's character development in action. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think about this. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students who participate in school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. At the same time, playing sports helps teach lessons not covered in the classroom. Lessons like tolerance, respect for the rules, and the importance of supporting your community. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference and the Connecticut Association of Athletic Directors.
All right, welcome right back. Cromwell coming to the plate in the top of the 7th inning, and John McMahon swings at the first pitch. He's probably anxious to celebrate, and Dylan McMahon will throw him out. They spell their names entirely differently, and there's one down in the 7th inning.
Krieger back out there with now 113 pitches on that right arm. So he's finishing what he started. At least that's the plan as we head into the top of the 7th inning here.
Kevin Radowitz to the plate, and that pitch is over for the strike. Kevin has reached on an error, scored, fly ball out, hit by a pitch, RBI scored, hit by a pitch, RBI scored. That makes him one of the offensive leaders. That ball hit high and rather deep to left field. Lemire trying to chase it down, and he'll find it. Got hung up there a little bit. Looks like things are getting knocked down a little bit out there to left.
Yeah, the ball gets up there. It looks like it's going to carry a little bit. Not much of a visible breeze, but you never know what's going up at the higher elevations above Palmer Field, as that turned into a routine fly ball after it looked like it had a chance to go for extra bases.
I'm going to go out and buy you a kite. Then we'll find out what's going on up there, Sam.
It's been a while since I've flown one of those.
Pat Royce to the plate in there for the strike. You're in the hot air balloons now, right? I mean, you're older, so done with the kites, up to the hot air balloons.
It's all about the hot air balloons.
There's a ground ball. Hit down to McMahon. He'll field it on the first. An easy 1-2-3 inning. So we're back with the bottom of the 7th. Derby knows what they have to do. They need a dramatic finish. They need 9 in the bottom of the 7th. It is Cromwell 3 outs away from the Class S championship. They lead 12-3. Back with more after this.
Everybody knows that high school sports generate suspense, excitement, and drama.
They also generate higher grade point averages, stronger work habits, and greater self-esteem.
Everybody knows that high school sports give us more value for our entertainment dollar.
They also give us leaders committed to strengthening communities right here in Connecticut. The true value of playing sports in school can't be measured in wins and losses or dollars and cents. Studies show that participation in sports, along with other extracurricular activities, is one of the best ways to teach leadership, cooperation, accountability, and other invaluable life skills. Don't just stand on the sidelines. Encourage the young people you know to get in the game. When you do, you'll be helping them get ahead in life. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference and the Connecticut Association of Athletic Directors.
Back here at Palmer Field. Well, Cromwell in the field defensively. Derby coming to the plate offensively. Cromwell leading 12-3. 12-7-0 for Cromwell at 0. A big number in the error column. For Derby, 3 runs, 7 hits, but 6 errors here today. That's a huge number in that error column. Rochino to lead it off.
Never want to see more than 1 or 2 errors up there. You start getting up into the 3, 4, you know you're in trouble, but when you get up to 6, it's just not a well-played game.
Rochino trying to punt his way on, lays down a beauty, and he's safe at first. That was a great punt. Budzik caught on his heels a little bit at third base, and no chance for the pitcher, much not to get to it, and Rochino starts it off with a bunt single.
Smart choice, too, because you need base runners any way you can get them on, trailing by 9 runs. So Frashino does a great job, sees the third baseman playing a little bit back. Last thing he's expecting is a bunt. Plays a beautiful one down, and they got the leadoff man on. So it couldn't be a better start for Derby.
Emmett Krieger to the plate, swings and drives that down the right field line, but unfortunately, it's going to go foul on it. Booked it. Count 0-1. Krieger in the ball game has walked 3 times. That was all against Davenport. Davenport's game the win. For McNaughton, he's just trying to do a nice job, but a significant job as he came on in that 5th inning. There's Sam when it looked like Derby was going to make a run at Cromwell, down by the score of 7-3 at the time.
Yeah, came in, tough situation, and calmly induced a double play, and it put out the fire there, and ever since then, it's been smooth sailing for Cromwell.
Cromwell with a big inning in the 5th when they scored 5, and they added 5 more in the 6th to break it open. Going the opposite way goes Krieger with a base hit. Nice job by Krieger. Now you have runners at first and second with nobody out for Zach Volo. Volo is grounded out, fly ball out, reach on a sacrifice, reach on a fielder's choice, and scored a run. That was back in the 5th inning.
First baseman, number 27, Zach Volo.
My Derby scorebook is much tamer than the Cromwell side.
Yeah, the Derby one, pretty straightforward. Just going right down the rows, haven't had to go into another inning, haven't had to cross out much stuff. It looks like a scorebook should look.
Nice and neat. Count goes 1 ball, 1 strike to Volo. Dubeck is on deck. Here in the bottom of the 7th, the pitch to the plate, and that ball hit high near to the center fielder. Radowitz circling underneath will make the catch, and there's 1 down. Now Cromwell just 2 outs away from the Class S championship. Something that has been elusive in their last 7 tries when they've competed in championship games. Those are all distant memories, however.
Radowitz has played an excellent game out there in center field. Made a nice running catch earlier in the game. Makes a nice catch on that ball there. As the wind starts to pick up, blow out towards center field.
Fouled off by Dubeck. Dubeck in the ball game is single, popped up the foul territory, and had a RBI triple back in the 5th inning. 2 on. 9 runs down. Bottom of the 7th. McNaughton's pitch, ground ball, and it's hit foul first base way. Sam has mentioned it a couple of times, but Cromwell, the last time they won a state championship, you got to go all the way back to 1967 when they beat Southbury 13-2. They had a good 2-year run in Class S. They also won it in '66 when they beat Massac.
So it's been a little while.
Been a long while.
Been a little while for this Cromwell team.
1967 was the year of the Red Sox, the impossible dream season. Kyle Yastrzemski did what back then, do you know?
He won the Triple Crown.
That's right. Who's the last guy to win the Triple Crown?
Carl Yastrzemski.
There you go. You know your baseball. There's a little flare hit into left center field. The throw is going to be cut off. It was interesting. The runners had to hold to wait to see if Radowitz, as you mentioned, can play some pretty good center. But that fell safely in front. He didn't want to take too many chances. Anyhow, the bases are now loaded with that base hit. And one out. Colin Haydu to the plate. Haydu fly ball out, base hit, RBI. All of a sudden, Derby putting on a little bit of a threat. There's a pitch down low. Radowitz to make a nice stop behind the plate. Ball, no strikes, bases loaded, one out. 12-3, Cromwell leading. That pitch is over for the strike call. It's an American Legion game, quite similar situation, rare late inning, and all of a sudden, it might have been RCP, part of this Cromwell team, not this particular year team, but I think they scored like 11 runs in an inning and came back to win the game and against Middletown. It was strange.
So I'm assuming it didn't send the hometown crowd home very happy.
Not at all. That ball hit high into the air to the center fielder. Radowitz should find it, makes the catch. He'll tag the runner, and Derby will produce another run on the sac fly RBI off the bat of Colin Haydu, as Fochino scores from the bag at third. So that makes it 12-4. Runners remain at first and second base otherwise.
Good game at the plate for Haydu. Couple hits, couple RBIs. So Colin Haydu did a nice job at the plate as now the Cromwell crowd rises to its feet.
The pitch, curveball, missed outside. Michael Krieger at the plate. He has walked. Hit into that controversial, we'll call it, 4-6-3 double play. Not all that controversial. There was a rule to double play because the runner going to second went out of the base pass to block the relay throw. Count goes 1-1 here to Michael Krieger. Now it goes 1-2. Steady diet of curveballs from B.J. McNaughton. Cromwell, for the first time since '67, may win a state championship. Here comes a 1-2, check swing, just missed. Count goes 2-2. How do you hold off? How do you not call a strike? And how close was that, Sam?
Looked pretty good from up here. He tried to go with that curveball. That's been so good for him.
The 2-2 pitch, and that's a strike three call. Krieger called out on strikes, and the Cromwell Panthers, your 2012 Class S champions, they win it 12-4. Doug Davenport, the victory. The tough luck loser, Raymond Krieger for Derby. Cromwell, for the first time since 1967, they win a state championship. How do you like that? The celebration down below. Well, they did not commit any errors. That was a big reason why.
Big difference in this ball game. Just great defense from start to finish from Cromwell. They get the job done. And you can't say enough about their pitching in this game. It started with Davenport, ended with McNaughton, who was just great in 2 2/3 innings. Only allowed that one run, struck out 3, and really did a good job to hold off any Derby rallies that were possible in the later innings.
Your final totals for Cromwell, your 2012 state champion, 12 runs on 7 hits and no errors. And for Derby, 4 runs on 10 hits, but they committed 6 errors. We'll take just a brief break, and then we'll be back with the award ceremony right after these messages.
12 runs, 7 hits.
It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons. It may not take place in a classroom, but it's an ideal environment for learning. It may not involve a diploma, but it can help prepare Connecticut's young people for life. It's high school sports. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students that participate in high school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think again. Better yet, think about attending a high school sporting event in your community. You'll be amazed by what you see. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference and the Connecticut Association of Athletic Directors.
Please, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, welcome right back here to Palmer Field as we have the award ceremonies down below. It will be Cromwell winning the 2012 Class S State Championship. The Derby Red Raiders, of course, coming up a little shy, 12-4, your final score here today. As let's enjoy the awards presentation down below as Derby receiving their runner-up medallions and trophy after a terrific run.
Number 18, Tim Garrity. Number 17, Tyler Butino. Number 16, Kevin Delicio. Number 13, Ryan Rendana. Number 12, Ben Slowick. Number 6, Louis Coutinho. Number 4, Eric Ferguson. Number 3, Bill Rendana. Number 1, Keith J. Nagy. Number 10, Justin Olanowski. Number 9, Jordan LaRue. Number 5, Nick Lemire. Number 22, Mike Krieger. Number 19, Colin Haydu. Number 15, Brian Doback. Number 27, Zach Volo. Number 7, Raymond Krieger. Number 11, Sal Quascione. And number 8, Dylan McMahon. Assistant coach, Dennis O'Connell. And assistant coach, Eric O'Toole. And to receive his medal and the runner-up plaque, the head coach at Derby High School, Sumner Sockren.
So there's Sumner Sockren won his 500th game as a high school baseball coach during this Class S tournament. And he will receive the runners-up plaque here for the Derby Red Raiders after a terrific run through this tournament. So Derby can certainly be proud of their accomplishments. They just ran into a hot Cromwell team that came in winning 11 in a row, and they are your Class S champions. They win by the score of 12-4. They will receive their medallion, and of course, they will also receive that coveted CIAC championship plaque. As right now, the best team in Class S receiving their medallions down below.
Number 32,
Louis Paparella, the head coach of Cromwell, will be asked to come out to receive the plaque.
Number 7, Jordan Swilling.
Not a very deep roster on this Cromwell team.
Number 2, Mike
Patrick Soroy's one of their seniors. John McMahon is one of their seniors. B.J. McNaughton, who did a terrific job in relief, and Tyler Allen, the seniors, along with Stephen Radowitz for this Cromwell team. And they go out in style with a state championship here in Class S in the year of 2012. Allen had himself a big day with a 2-run double in the 6th inning. Steve Radowitz had a 2-run base hit also in that 6th inning. It was really the 2nd inning, Cromwell 2 runs. The 5th inning, 5 times they scored. 6th inning, 5 times they scored to pull away from Derby, 12-4. Derby tried to chip away. They were down 2-1 at the end of 2 innings. They actually scored 2 in the 5th to try to make it manageable, but that 5 in the 6th inning proved devastating as Cromwell going on to the victory here today. The winning pitcher for Cromwell is Doug Davenport working 4 1/3 to pick up the victory, and the loser Raymond Krieger of Derby here today.
Number 1, Kevin Radzowitz. And number 3, John McMahon.
So there's your team players for Cromwell receiving their medallions that they can keep forever, display them proudly, perhaps on a trophy wall or in a trophy case at their home. Of course, the plaque will go inside the Cromwell School.
To receive his medal and the state champion.
Now Louis Paparella.
Head coach at Cromwell.
He's excited.
Lou Paparella.
It had been since 1967 for Cromwell when they beat Southbury. They tried in 96 and 92, 77, actually 2010, 2000, 99, 89, 76, 71. They came up on the losing end of things from 2010 all the way back to actually 1968. They had 3 consecutive trips, 66, 67, 68 to Cromwell High School. But here in 2012, they pick up the win, the 10th time to a state championship game. And here they win today, 12-4. Congratulations to the Cromwell Panthers, your 2012 Class S baseball state champions. It's been fun. Great job by the production crew throughout the facility here at Parma Field. And to Sam Dossler, great work helping out alongside as our color commentator. That is going to do it. This production by Play on Sports for the CIAC Network. Goodbye, everybody.
However, you are reminded